2024 CFA curriculum has changed, especially the CFA level 1. So in this video, we'll talk about what are the big picture changes. So if you're short of time, just watch the first 1 minute and you'll understand what's really happening in terms of how the CFA level 1 curriculum is changing from 2023 to 2024. And then we would also look at some of the granular changes for those who want to go a little more nuanced approach. So here we go. We prepared an Excel file. I'll also be doing some FAQs towards the end of this session today. Here's a big picture. Let's say that this is 2023 curriculum, and let's say this is one particular reading, right? Now, some of the common complaints, of the candidates was, and there were some readings which ran up to like 100, 120 pages. So now what they've done in 2024 curriculum, and this applies to a lot of readings and a lot of changes which are happening, is in 2024, they'll take this one reading, they've taken this one reading, and then they've taken some content of the reading and then moved that to prerequisite material, especially in economics, quant, and FSA. A lot of basic content, which was earlier a part of 2023, now moves to prerequisite material of 2024. Now, do you need to study that? We'll talk about that in a bit. Then they've taken this reading and then broken down into more granular pieces, right? So think of it as some part of this content now becomes your learning module 1, and some part of the content becomes learning module 2, and some part of the content becomes learning module 3, and then you throw in some garnishing on top of it, and then you're good to go, right? That's the big story. That's what it looks like. So on the surface, when we all of us saw the announcement, it looked like the curriculum was completely overhauled, and I would say to their credit, they've done a decent job. But what they've basically done is they've tried to remove the content that's basic into prerequisite and then break it down into more modular approach. Now, here's a more granular change for you. This Excel file will be available. I'll share how to get access to it. So first subject quant. In 2023, we had total 7 readings here. In 2024, we have total 11 readings. Okay, now is time value of money removed? That's the question someone asked me, that is the time value removed? Yes and no, both, because as I said, the previous analogy, that some part of the time value of money is still there. Certain sections are removed. So these are the readings that you have. Now, the ones that I've highlighted in red here on both the sides, on 2024 and 2023, I would say these are like big changes. So when you see them in 2024, these are new additions. And when you see them in 2023, these are complete deletion. That means there is no overlap between the two. So here you would see we have a new addition on something called as the simulation method, which wasn't there earlier. And then we have a new reading on introduction to big data, a part of level 2 curriculum. Some of that now gets moved to level 1. Economics. Topics in demand and supply is gone. Aggregate output, prices, and economic growth is gone. That was a big reading. Took a lot of time for candidates. Economics in general is a fairly large subject at level 1. So they've tried to simplify this, and this is your current syllabus. Looks like it's all new, but it draws heavily from the existing 2023 curriculum. Portfolio management. Earlier you had 8, now you have 6. Good news, never liked it. Technical analysis is gone. Fintech and investment management is gone, right? If you want to know more granular changes, I put them in this particular column. You can download this Excel file later and then look at more granular stuff as well. Corporate issuers. Earlier we had 8 readings. Now we have 7 learning modules. Cost of capital is gone. Measures of leverages is gone. And then we have organizational forms, which has some unique content. So I've given it a red color code here. FRA, again, on the face of it, it looked like there are big changes, but there are not. Again, a similar type of copy paste work that seems to have happened. To their credit, in some of the areas, when I went a little granular and looked at how the content was written, even within learning outcomes, they've removed unnecessary stuff, right? Like, especially in 2023, when you're reading the curriculum, you felt like the curriculum is moving around in too many different directions. So they've done a good job even within learning outcomes level. So the 2024 curriculum is much more concise and easy to read. Financial reporting is gone. Everything else is there. We have a new reading on Introduction to Financial Statement Modeling. Equity, Introduction to Industry and Company Analysis to some extent is gone. And now we have these 3 readings really nicely written: company analysis, industry and competitive analysis, and company analysis forecasting. Fixed income. Again, when I first looked at the 2024, looked like what's happening, because your learning modules went from 6 to 19. But good news for you, most of the content draws from 2023. I've written a detailed summary here if you want to know which content is being inspired or drawn from 2023 material. Again, no changes in derivatives. It was a new syllabus in 2023, so we're okay there. No changes in AI. Again, it looks like there are changes, but as I said, they've just broken down this last reading into smaller modules, and no changes in ethics, right? So this is what you have in 2024. The total number of pages in the curriculum is, and the total number of learning modules you're looking at now is 93. All right. Now, for the next few months, I will be recording the newer content for 2024. For the next few months, as I discover the curriculum more granular, I will be working on this Excel file. So in the description box of this video, we'll put a Google Drive link. And then we will keep on updating this Excel file as and when we discover more nuances about the changes. Now, here are some of the questions that you'd be asking me. So I'm answering them in advance. First, can I use 2023 material to prepare for 2024 exams? No. There are too many changes and there are too many moving parts. I mean, if you studied from 2023 material, is your knowledge not useful? Absolutely not. It is going to be useful. To a large chunk, you would realize that what you've already studied in 2023 comes in handy for 2024. So as far as learning is concerned, it's not a drastically new curriculum, right? On the face of it, it looked like it's completely new. It's not. But should you be studying from 2023 books? No, because you're at the risk of spending too much time on concepts which might not be tested, and maybe missing out on a few concepts that might be tested, right? So you want to look up that part carefully. Is the level of difficulty increasing? No. I mean, it just makes no sense, right? In fact, I would say the 2024 curriculum is easier to read. So I don't think your level of difficulty is going up by any stretch of imagination. Is it mandatory to go through prerequisite material? No, that will not be tested. It will be made available to all the 2024 candidates, but it's not testable. But will it help? Absolutely, yes. In fact, what I've noticed now, since the last few years, a large number of candidates coming into the CFA program now are students, okay, which probably wasn't the case, when I started teaching for CFA program way back in 2011, 2012. Composition of my classroom always used to be 70% working people, 30% students. Right now, these days it's 70% students, 30% working professionals. So which means if you're a student and you're learning finance for the first time, you probably want to go through all the prerequisite material. We will be providing video coverage on prerequisite as well, right? So that way you're covered, and we would be organizing it in such a way on the Fintri LMS that it's easier for you to just navigate between prerequisite and the main content on the same page. By when Fintri videos will be updated? We've already done good part of the work. some of the content has already been recorded, and we will be recording more content, in the following weeks. So just to be conservative, we're promising a date of July end at this moment. Okay, but about 40-45% of the content is already available, and we would be recording. My guess is we should be done by June end, but just to be conservative, we're promising July end for the candidates at this moment. Will you be sharing this Excel file? Yes, I'll be uploading this on the description. And finally, what about practical skills module? So those of you not aware, 2024 now, you have to choose one of the two practical skills, financial modeling or Python. Can you do both? I don't think so, right? You get to choose one. Will this be tested on your exams? No. So then what do you do with these practical skills? So you'd be given some learning material of about 20 odd hours on the CFA portal. And you would be required to watch maybe certain videos, read some of the material there, and maybe answer a few quizzes. But it will not be tested on the exams, right? So then the question comes, which one should I choose, right? Should I choose Python or should I choose financial modeling? Answer is choose what you like. It doesn't make a big difference. I don't think either of these two skills you can learn in 20 hours, right? Just think of both, being able to code proficiently and being able to model well. It's similar to driving. You don't get it in the first go. You don't learn that in 20 hours, but you learn the basics and then you practice and practice and keep on practicing. And then you build some sort of a finesse on your skill. So it doesn't make a big difference in terms of which one you choose. If I were you, I would probably select financial modeling, because a lot of content that you learn in financial modeling will also be helpful, for the CFA level 1 preparations, right? So there is a dedicated reading on financial modeling in your FRA section, which is here. So the content that you learn there also comes in handy here. Plus, I feel like to learn Python well, you need to have some project to do. Otherwise, it's just like learning Excel, like what you do with it. So if you've learned financial modeling first, and then you decide that I will learn Python to maybe see if I can automate some of the parts of, financial modeling process, the learning curve would be more organic, right? So maybe if I were you, I would have been a little more inclined to select financial modeling in terms of practical skills module. But there you go. Hopefully you find this video helpful. Thank you and have a good one.